Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. What would you do if the person you are falling in love with suddenly admitted they once destroyed someone's life? Yeah, that's exactly the kind of bombshell that just exploded in Fairmont Crest. Just when Mona thought she had finally found peace and loving relationship with Randy, a shocking confession about his dark past shatters the calm, forcing her to question everything she thought she knew about him. In the beautiful but emotionally complicated community of Fairmont Crest, people are very good at hiding their problems behind perfect smiles and elegant lifestyles. On the surface, everything looks polished and peaceful, but as long-time residents know, the truth in this town has a habit of creeping out when you least expect it. And that's exactly what happens when Randy, a man determined to bury his past forever, finally reveals a truth that changes everything between him and Mona. For Mona, life had only recently started to feel steady again. She had spent months dealing with painful family conflicts, wild rumors spreading through town, and betrayals that left her questioning who she could really trust. After surviving all of that emotional chaos, she was finally beginning to breathe again. That's when Randy came into her life. He seemed to arrive at the perfect moment. Randy was calm, gentle, and thoughtful in a way that immediately made Mona feel comfortable. He didn't rush her or pressure her. Instead, he listened. He understood. Slowly, he became someone she could lean on after everything she had been through. Their relationship developed naturally. Friends in Fairmont Crest began to notice how happy Mona seemed when Randy was around. Some even whispered that maybe, just maybe, he could be the man who finally brought her the happiness she deserved. But Randy had a problem. While the rest of the town saw him as a quiet and reliable man who preferred to stay out of drama, instead, inside he was carrying a heavy burden. His past wasn't clean. There were painful choices he had made years ago. Decisions that hurt people and created consequences he could never completely erase. None of that history was visible to Mona, and Randy intended to keep that away. At first, their relationship moved slowly and comfortably. Randy treated Mona with genuine kindness. They spent evenings sharing meals at small, cozy restaurants around town. Sometimes they simply walked through the peaceful streets of Fairmont Crest, talking about life and laughing about little things. Mona began opening up in ways she hadn't in years. For the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to imagine a future that wasn't filled with anxiety or heartbreak. But the deeper their connection became, the heavier Randy's secret started to feel. Every time Mona smiled at him with trust and warmth, guilt stabbed him. She believed she knew exactly who Randy was, but the reality was far more complicated. Meanwhile, people in Fairmont Crest were starting to notice odd details. Some neighbors quietly pointed out that Randy occasionally disappeared without explanation. Sometimes he would receive phone calls that instantly changed his mood, leaving him tense and quiet, and every now and then certain names and topics would trigger a strange reaction from him. Mona brushed these moments aside. To her, they were harmless quirks. But not everyone in town was so convinced. Things became even more complicated when Mona began talking seriously about their future together. One evening, the two of them were sitting outside on the patio of Mona's home. The night was peaceful, the kind of quiet moment that makes people feel safe enough to dream out loud. Mona gently began talking about the possibility of building a life together. She admitted that after everything she had been through, she believed people observe second chances. She said that sometimes love shows up when you are least expecting it. While she spoke, Randy listened silently. Those words should have filled him with joy. Instead, they made his heart race with anxiety because the more serious their relationship became, the more inevitable the truth felt. Sooner or later, his past would surface, and when it did, it could destroy everything. For several days, Randy struggled with the decision. One part of him wanted to keep the past buried forever. After all, those mistakes had happened years ago. Maybe Mona didn't need to know. But deep down, he understood something important. Secrets don't stay hidden forever. Eventually, the truth finds a way out. The moment that changed everything came during what should have been a perfectly normal evening. Mona had cooked a beautiful dinner at her home. The atmosphere was warm and relaxed. They laughed, talked, and enjoyed the quiet comfort of being together. Then Mona casually mentioned something she had heard. It was a small comment about a man connected to an investigation from years ago. She didn't realize it, but the name she spoke was one Randy had prayed he would never hear again. The room suddenly felt suffocating. Randy's heart started pounding. Mona immediately noticed the shift in his expression. Concern filled her voice as she asked if he was okay. She assumed she had accidentally reminded him of a painful memory, but she had unknowingly stopped right onto the truth. Randy sat there quietly for several long seconds, clearly battling with himself. Finally, he looked directly into Mona's eyes and said there was something she needed to know. His voice trembled slightly, something Mona had never heard before. The calm and controlled man she trusted suddenly looked fragile. Then the truth came out. Years ago, Randy had been involved in a serious criminal situation. It wasn't a minor mistake or a harmless misunderstanding. His choices had pulled him into a dangerous conflict that left emotional scars on several people. But the most shocking part wasn't just the crime itself, it was the connection to Mona's life. As Randy explained more, Mona realized that someone very important to her, had once been deeply hurt because of the events tied to Randy's past. Suddenly, their relationship wasn't just about the present anymore. It was tangled in years of hidden history neither of them had realized existed. Mona felt like the ground beneath her had shifted. The man she trusted had kept a secret that changed everything she thought she knew about him. At the same time, she could see genuine regret in Randy's eyes. He didn't try to defend himself or make excuses. Instead, he explained that he had spent years trying to become a better person. Meeting Mona had made him realize he couldn't keep building a relationship based on silence and half truths. The confession left Mona completely torn. Part of her felt betrayed. She couldn't stop wondering why he had waited so long to tell her. The longer she thought about it, the more painful his silence felt. Trust, once cracked, isn't easy to repair. But another part of Mona saw something different. She saw a man who had finally decided to face his past instead of hiding from it. Randy had risked losing her by telling the truth, and the choice mattered. Of course, in Fairmont Crest, secrets rarely stay private for long. Before long, word about Randy's confession started spreading through the town. Friends, neighbors, and even casual acquaintances began discussing the shocking news. Some people insisted Mona should walk away immediately. Others believed Randy deserved the chance to prove he had changed. While the town debated his character, Mona faced the hardest question of all. Could she truly forgive him? Or was his past simply too painful to overcome? Meanwhile, Randy prepared himself for the worst. He knew Mona might never see him the same way again. But for the first time in years, he felt something unexpected relief. The truth was finally out, and in Fairmont Crest, that truth might just be the beginning of an even bigger storm. Randy's confession has shaken Mona's trust and divided the entire town, setting the stage for emotional fallout that could reshape several relationships in Fairmont Crest. Honestly, this is one of those heartbreaking moments where both sides feel understandable. Mona's pain is real, but Randy's courage to finally tell the truth deserves some credit too. So, what do you think? Should Mona forgive Randy and give their love a second chance? Or is his past simply too dark to move past? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more dramatic stories from Fairmont Crest.